Hello and welcome back to Vlogmas. My name is Piera and today I'm here with my favourite books of 2017. So I know I said today was going to be a vlog, but I forgot to vlog, so I got some footage which is here.
I saw them all and I was like, do I go?
You did that last time, Ryan.
Oh, this is so much more difficult than it needs to be.
But the most important event of the Christmas party of last night was my Secret Santa gift. I got a howler ring. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a wolf. It's not exactly the House Mars ring, which I am planning to make, but it's like I'm gonna call it a howler ring, and I'm gonna wear it until I get my House Mars ring, and then I'll just have 2 rings. But as it is currently nearing the end of the year, and between now and the end of the year, I'm not gonna have a chance to read any more books, and the books that I will read, I don't think they're gonna make my favorites list, so I thought I would give you my favorites list at the end of Vlogmas, because tomorrow will be Vlogmas's last vlog, and it will be a vlog of Christmas Day. So in no particular order, these are the books that I really loved reading in the year of 2017. So one of the books I absolutely loved was A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, which also made it into my most surprising reads of 2017. In A Monster Calls, we follow a young boy named Connor. His mother has a life-threatening illness, and Connor is visited by a monster. This monster tells Connor 3 stories, 3 truths, and in return wants Connor to tell the monster his truth or his story at the 4th. Absolutely fucking loved this book. It's also now a motion picture. This is like the tie-in. I really loved this cover. But as I said in my surprising reads of 2017 video, I loved this book because I think I read it at a really weird time. I read this book when my sister was going through quite a hard run with her treatment. So a lot of themes in this book really spoke to me and really stood out to me, and just Connor and how he deals with his grief. The monster was just phenomenal, and then seeing it all translate into film a few months later, it's just such a phenomenal story, which is why it made it into my favorite reads of 2017. Another favorite of mine, which also made it into my surprising reads of 2017, was Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. Red Sister is a fantasy novel, and it follows Nona, where she's taken into the convent of Sweet Mercy and trained to become a killer. And again, going into this book, I had no idea what to expect, but I absolutely loved it. It reminded me of like a more adult, I guess kind of grown-up version of Nevernight. In saying that, one of my favorite tropes of all time is like the assassin's school, where like a young person goes to a school to learn how to kill. Absolutely loved Red Sister. I do have a book talk on it. I will leave it above if you're interested in going to see that. But I think what I loved most about Red Sister was the characters. Obviously, as well as like the plot and the writing and all of that sort of stuff. The world building at times was a bit iffy for me, but I still really enjoyed it. But yeah, just following Nona and I guess her entire story, really loved it. I also really loved The Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. This is a bind-up of a bunch of, I guess, stories, like myths, histories, in sort of the Grisha universe. The best way I can describe it is, you know how as a child you may have been, I know I was read like the Grimm's Brothers fairy tales, all of those, yeah, fairy tales. Leigh has come out and basically said that these stories are the stories that her characters would have heard when they were growing up. And I can definitely tell you they're the stories I will be telling my children, because they are absolutely phenomenal. The world building and the language and the art in this book was just phenomenal, like easily shot straight to the top of my list. And obviously it was different, it wasn't a novel, like it's just a bind up of fairy tales essentially, and I love fairy tales, and to find fairy tales that were, they were dark and they were twisty, and I really loved it. Another one of my absolute favorites that I read this year was A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. A Conjuring of Light is the 3rd and final book in the Shades of Magic trilogy, however the world will be expanded in the coming years, if that makes sense. The trilogy is done, there will be more books. Obviously the Shades of Magic trilogy are one of my all-time favorite trilogies. I love the world, I love the characters. Lila Bard is a queen, and Schwab just creates these incredible worlds. It's incredible magic system, which I absolutely adored. Smashed through this book. I am going to read it again early next year. This was obviously one of my favorite books that came out. It came out in like February. It was early this year that I finished this series. I haven't touched it again this year because I haven't had a chance, but it is definitely something that I am going to pick up in the new year to reread again, to visit my favorites. Next up, like easily one of my top 3 favorites of the year, Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I don't even know where to begin describing this book. Like when I try to explain this book to people, I just say it's pure magic, because it truly is. Strange the Dreamer, we follow Laszlo, who is a librarian, as he embarks on this weirdly fantastical journey to the city of Weep, which is this city that's surrounded in mystery, and Laszlo goes to seek answers. The characters, it's the world building. It's the world building, and it's the language, and it's the way Laini Taylor sets up like the whole story. Like I couldn't find a fault in this book if you asked me to. Also, I probably wouldn't want to, but between the characters and the world building and just like the sentences are so poetic. I don't know if that's a thing, but it is. This book was on my list for most anticipated reads 2017, and lived up to the hype 110%. Again, this is another book that I fully intend to read early in the next year. And if you're interested in my thoughts on Strange the Dreamer, I do have a book talk which I will link above as well. My next favorite book that I read in 2017 should be no surprise, but it's God's Grave by J. Kristoff, which is the second book in the Nevernight Chronicles. And I'm sure by now you know how much I loved Nevernight. What are you doing? And probably how much I loved God's Grave, but I love it so much. Mia, and it's Ash, and it's our supporting characters, and it's the world building, and it's like this, the humor and the wit. You know, it's not common that you read a fantasy novel and you laugh at it. And a lot of the banter, like especially the banter between Mia and Mr. Kindly, is just, it's absolutely phenomenal. And obviously if you wanted to know more about what I thought about God's Grave, I have a book talk which I will link as well. Easily one of my favorite series in the whole wide world. This last book will come as absolutely no surprise to most of you, although technically it does not come out for another 17 days, which therefore makes it a book that technically comes out in 2018, so yeah, it's probably gonna hit my list at this time next year as well. Just because I was lucky enough to receive an ARC copy, of course it was gonna be #1 on my list, but it's Iron Gold by Pierce Brown, which is the 4th book in the Red Rising saga, the 1st book in the Iron Gold trilogy, the follow-up trilogy to the Red Rising trilogy. Does that make sense? Like on the back it says book 1 of the Iron Gold trilogy, where I feel like it should be book 4 in the Red Rising saga. Iron Gold follows the events of Morningstar 10 years in the future after the fall of the society, and how the pieces are going to be picked up after that. Make sense? I will have a spoiler-free review coming early in the new year, as well as my spoiler thoughts on release day. So if you're interested, stay tuned for that. Like, you know how much I love this world and these characters, and they can do no wrong. I mean, Pierce Brown is just an incredible author. He's incredible at crafting this world, at crafting these characters, and the writing style is just phenomenal. That's how I know it's a good book. My least favorite theme, topic, world setting is space, and I'm not a huge fan of sci-fi. But then going back and realizing that my favorite book of all time is a sci-fi space opera set in space. Like that, why, what is that? That just goes to show that this is a bloody damn good book. If it's ultimately all of the things I hate, but I'm obsessed, so if that doesn't make you want to read the series, I don't know what does. So those are all of my favorite books of 2017. As you probably know, 2017 wasn't a great reading year. Like, a lot of the books I was anticipating I was disappointed by, or a lot of the books that I read I didn't love, or they didn't change my life in any great way. So those are a few that really stood out to me that I absolutely adored. So I'm hoping 2018 will be a better reading year. There's a bunch of books that I'm super anticipating, so hopefully next year is just an absolutely prime reading year. I guess that makes this the second last video of Vlogmas for 2017. But just in general, I wanted to thank you guys so much for your support, for your comments, for your likes, for your views during Vlogmas. And I mean just in general, but mostly during Vlogmas, because I didn't expect to have as many views as we've had. I didn't expect to have as much engagement as I did. I mean, it blows my mind that you guys are interested in me and what I have to say and what I do, and I know it's mainly you're here for the bird, which makes sense. I mean, why wouldn't you be? But just truly from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your constant support and love. I know I said I was going to take a break from the end of the year through the first couple weeks of January. I'm not going to say it's like a break where there's going to be no videos. Like, there will be videos. Like, for example, when Tactus comes, I'm going to film that. It'll be more like your regular scheduled videos, as opposed to here's a month straight of me, or here's 3 weeks with nothing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow for our last video of Vlogmas and Christmas. So, happy Christmas, and I will see you tomorrow. That all was one big circle. Okay, bye.